Hi everyone. So tonight I want to do another reading and try to see if I can make contact with Naya Rivera again. We didn't have a very good connection in the last video, and it ended up being more about Leah and her pregnancy. So Naya Rivera, I'd like you to focus all your energy on the cards today. We'd like to know some more into what happened to you at the lake. There's a lot of people that want answers. We know that it was ruled that you drowned and that you died saving your little boy, Josie. And maybe you can also give us some kind of insight into the afterlife. And if you and Cory have reunited on the other side. And maybe give us your perspectives on everything that's been going on in the world lately. We'd also want to know if you possibly can give us some more insight into what's been going on, what was going on with you and the Glee cast in the last couple years. There's been a lot of ups and downs. So I'm going to do 6 cards here. I'm working with limited space this time because I'm trying a new setup here. I finally have something that my camera's a little sturdy now, more sturdy now. So we have the 4 of Wands here. There was a celebration. There was a homecoming. So this is her saying that she has reunited with Cory up there, and it was a celebration. It was a big homecoming. Next we have the Queen of Swords reversed. She's overly emotional right now with everything that's been going on. And there's a lot of emotions coming from her about everything. Now we have the 7 of Cups. She had a choice to make. And I believe that's her saying she had a choice to make when it came to who was getting back in the boat. And it was always going to be Josie first to go back in that boat. And then we have the Magician reversed here. So the trip, it was poor planning what happened, but there's manipulation. So it's coming off, she's trying to tell us not everything is what it seems. The Page of Pentacles reversed, there was procrastination. She's talking about the procrastination by the sheriff's department, I believe, into recovering her body and searching. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. There was some misdirected activity. So I think that's, again, referring to them searching for her body. I'm going to flip cards over the other ones now. So this is the Five of Swords reversed on top of that Four of Wands, which remember we said was a celebration. So she's telling me with this that she's made amends. She was reconciling with a lot of the Glee cast. Particularly, I would like to thank Leah Michelle, because she was commenting on Leah's Instagram posts with the pregnancy. So it seems, you know, she never had any ill will to Leah. They just had a bit of a falling out, but made amends. And then over that Queen of Swords reversed, we have that Ace of Cups that I mentioned. People like to refer to it as, you know, refer to it around childbirth. So again, with that Queen of Swords reversed was, you know, that she was overly emotional. This is also repressed emotions. So again, there's a lot of repressed emotions and emotions that she's going through right now on the other side with the whole situation. And then on top of that Seven of Cups, we have the Lover's card. That Seven of Cups was her talking about choices. So with the Lover's card, again, more choices with love and harmony. So she was definitely trying to make a choice as far as who was getting back in on that boat, and it was Josie. She, you know, wanted her son on that boat. Her son was always first. And then back to that Magician in reverse. Remember I said there was poor planning and there's manipulation, right? So here we have Judgment. So she's telling us that, you know, she is judging, you know, she's judging her poor planning. Sorry, this gets to me now that she's coming through like this. She's judged her poor planning. I mean, I can tell she's regretting that she didn't have her life vest on, and she wished she'd made a better choice. Again, going back to that Queen of Swords and that Ace of Cups. And with the Lovers and the Seven of Cups, you know, she's regretting not having saved both of them, but she was glad she was able to save her son. And then with that Page of Pentacles, we have the Five of Pentacles. And remember we said that Page of Pentacles, there was some procrastination. And that Five of Pentacles reversed, this is the Worry card, but she was procrastinating about her finances. She's trying to recover from a big financial loss. Whether that might be a gig that she didn't get or something. But there was worry. She's worried about something having to do with a financial loss. So my guess is something to do with her family post-death, maybe the costs of the funeral or something. Then remember we had the Eight of Pentacles, and that was, she was talking about some kind of misdirected activity. And the Ten of Wands came up on that. And there was a big burden or an extra responsibility for that misdirected activity. So whatever this burden that she was carrying, it was misdirected and caused her to, have this burden. So with that said, I'm gonna keep going here. I'm gonna set these aside since her energy was used on those already. And I'm going to do another 6 down. So, the Four of Swords. She went to the lake for a little recuperation and relaxation. So, it was meant to be a fun day with her son on that lake. The Two of Pentacles reversed. It was a little disorganized, a little more at the last minute. I'd like to think that they did this trip. Again, going back to before, she talked about how it was poorly planned. So there was definitely some disorganization with their trip. It was kind of a last minute, spontaneous trip. The Six of Pentacles. This is the Wealth and Generosity card. So she's thanking everyone for their generosity and their charity to not just her family, but to the charity that people have been donating to her in her memory, and all the other things that have been going on. She's very grateful for it. Knight of Pentacles. She's talking about hard work, productivity, routine, and conservatism. So I'm not quite sure what she's going by on this one right now as far as everything goes. It could be that she's talking about a routine. It could be that they frequently did trips like that. It was kind of their thing, her and Josie. I'm going to look some more into that in the next go around here. The Hierophant. She was very, very spiritual. She was big on her traditions and her beliefs and her religion. So, pardon my neighbors are talking outside. I have the window cracked slightly. So she was very big on her personal beliefs and her religious beliefs and all that stuff. And then we have Ten of Swords. She's talking about this is painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, and crisis. So she's definitely letting us know that she talking about her death. She struggled to get back on that boat. She struggled so hard that she just, it ended up being more painful than she wanted it to be. So we're going to dig some more into this a little more here with some more cards. So on top of that Four of Swords, remember that we said, they went for relaxation and for some recuperation of that lake. The Justice card came up. This card is usually referred to truth and fairness and justice and law, but it's also cause and effect. So this, she's talking, they went to the lake to recuperate and all that, but there was an effect because of that. So I feel that this is her saying, these happened because of my actions and my decisions. And then we had that Two of Pentacles reversed. We talked about the disorganization, how we feel that the trip was just poorly planned. The Seven of Swords came up on that. There's some kind of betrayal or deception, she's saying. She was trying to act strategically with this, but there's some kind of deception. She's saying someone got away with something. I don't know if that's just if that means someone may have done some harm to her, which I know a lot of people still believe that there was more to this, or if she's referring to the sheriff's office with how poorly they handled the situation and just spending so long trying to find her body. And then remember we had the Six of Pentacles, talking about the generosity and thanking everybody for their generosity and their charity. The Six of Wands came up on that, and again, this is like public recognition and success or progress. So what she's saying is she's publicly recognizing everybody and saying thank you so much for all your generosity and your charity. And that's what that one means. Now we're back to that Knight of Pentacles that I was a little confused on about the hard work and the routine stuff. So we had the Eight of Swords come up on that. So with that coming up with the Pentacles, remember we said it was like a hard work and routine or conservatism. She's telling me that there was some imprisonment or some victim mentality or some negative thoughts with this. I don't necessarily mean that she planned to harm herself, but there was some kind of mentality that caused her to be the victim of quite a bit of something. I'm still unsure about that. Then we're back to that Hierophant card. Again, she was a very spiritual and very religious person. Believed in all her traditions and her spiritual wisdom and stuff. With that, we have the Hanged Man. She's telling us she was letting go. She surrendered to the lake. This is what she's telling us. With that, is she knew that she was going to find God. She was going to get to God. She knew it was going to be okay, that she was going to get to Cory as well, and to Mark Salling, and to all her other Glee crew members that had passed before she did. So with this, she's telling us, it's okay, I'm with God, I let go for a reason, it was my time. But I'm okay. And then we're back to that Ten of Swords, which people associate with murder and death and loss and grief. We have the Queen of Wands reversed on that, and her grief and her loss, now that she's up there, she's reestablishing her sense of self, but she's courageous. She was courageous, and she was confident. She was determined to get her son back on that boat, because she knew that even though she knew she was going to die, so she wanted to make sure she saved his life. Yeah, she knew she would find, she would see God, and she would see Cory again, and she knew she would be okay. So those are now connected. Again, going back to that Knight of Pentacles and that Eight of Swords, I was just still confused by that. I'm going to put one more card on top of that. It's the King of Wands, reversed. So with that being said, so first you know, was saying, you know, there was some kind of conservatism or routine. But then she said there was some kind of like self-imposed restriction or victim mentality. But with this King of Wands that came up the way it did, she's saying there was some impulsiveness or some haste or some high expectations. So I'm going to go ahead again and attribute this to that their trip was spontaneous, it was an impulse, and it was quick. And that's what I'm going to take for it, that this was a last minute decision to go up to that lake for the day. And we know that it was a lake that she knew very well. So again, this was a spontaneous trip. I'd like to do one more short reading here. I'm going to reshuffle this deck. Again, Naya, if you can draw all your energy that you can muster into these cards. If you can make the cards jump and send us a message. There's a lot of fans that want to know if you see them and hear them from the other side. I know a lot of them are still grieving and they're at a loss. Kevin and Jenna have put their podcast on hiatus because, you know, like the rest of us, you know, the whole cast is grieving and they're taking a break to have a moment to breathe. I know you guys did the same thing when Cory died. Leah, even though Leah was kind of like, we need to go back to work, you know, Ryan still gave you guys some time to have a moment to breathe and, you know, collect your thoughts. And I can't imagine her having to go through this multiple times. Going through a loss so crazy as this. I know she's so strong. And especially with her being, you know, ready to do, you know, have a baby any day now, too. Having to go through that at 8 months pregnant. She just amazes me. And I think she is so strong. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to reconcile. Okay. So, what I want to do here, I've kind of got a limited space here on my, like I said, I was testing this out. So what I want to do, I'm going to actually move this table real quick and kind of turn it. It's a little hard for me to reach, and I just have to check here and see how my camera looks here. Because again, this is kind of like, you know, adjusting here to the short spaces. So I'm going to throw 3 cards over. This is what I did in the last videos, that I've turned 3 cards over and kind of made columns. So we have the Fool reverse come up. And she says she was taking a risk going up to that lake. And then that Magician has come up as well. She was inspired to do this, to go to the lake. But this time this is upright. Remember we had this last time, it was poor planning. But again, it came up that, you know, that this was kind of like, you know, inspired to do it. And then we have that Six of Wands reversed. And where we had it upright last time, this time it's reversed. So she's telling us it was kind of like a, you know, she's telling us about her personal success, her private achievements. You know, she's falling from grace, and she's very humble. And I'm going to flip a card over on each of these. So, the Six of Swords on top of the Fool reverse. So again, so now she's talking about how she's transitioned. This is like a rite of passage for her going to the lake. Like she's transitioned, how she transitioned. Again, taking that risk. It was kind of, you know, it's her tradition and her rite of passage to go to that lake. And then we have the Ten of Wands on top of the Magician, where we said, you know, it was, you know, she was inspired to do this, but she still had a big burden on her shoulders while she was doing this. This also does mean release when it's reversed like this. So this could also be her saying that, you know, she let go for a reason. And then we have that Judgment card. So this time it's, you know, her inner critic is telling her with that Six of Wands. Her inner critic is telling her, you know, about falling from grace, that she doesn't see herself as, you know, an important person. She's just a normal person. That, you know, she has her own personal definition of success, and, you know, her inner critics it wasn't, you know, trying to tell her that. So I'm gonna keep going here. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna start with this column and go down 6 cards in each column. So going back, about her transitioning, or her rite of passage, we have the Three of Swords come up. She's asking for forgiveness. She's no longer in pain. She knows there's sorrow and there's grief and there's hurt. And then the Knight of Wands under it. You know, again, she's telling us this is impulse. This was all an impulse trip here. She's pretty much telling us she's sorry for any pain that she's caused us for taking this impulsive trip. Then we have the Five of Wands. She's telling us she was trying to avoid conflict with this. So it sounds like, again, she's, you know, came to a decision when it came to getting back on that boat. She put Josie on that boat with no questions asked. And the Four of Pentacles reversed. Protection. She didn't want to. She was protecting herself with this trip by putting. I'm not sure what this means by self-protection. She couldn't have been greedy or overspent on something. So, you know, there's some kind of protection, and again, I feel that she's, you know, protecting her image or something with having to put Josie back in the boat, because that's her son, and that is the love. That was the love of her life, as her little boy. So he was, you know, she was making sure that he was protected. And the Hangman Reverse has come up again. She was indecisive, but she was resisting. So I'm taking from this that, you know, she got caught in that brush on the bottom of the lake, and she was like trying to resist being caught in those trees. And that's why she had to make a quick decision. And then finally, we have the Three of Pentacles. And we have we have teamwork and collaboration. She was implementing something. So what I'm coming off of this is she's going back to putting Josie on that boat, that they worked together to get him back on the boat, because as he had said to them, that he got up on the boat, turned around, and she went under the water. So my guess is that she was like, come on, let's work together, get you back on the boat. I'm right behind you. And that's what I'm coming off of that. Okay, now to the next column, and we're going back to the Magician. And they're talking about how she was inspired to go out, but she had that big burden, right? And maybe I want to find out what that burden possibly was. Right, we have the Ace of Wands. She had a new opportunity. But again, this also means inspiration, just as like the Magician card says. There's some kind of inspiration she had a big burden on. Whether maybe she was trying to do a new project or something on top of Step Up. And now we have the Page of Cups under it. And it's reversed. There was a creative block. So she was going through a creative block. She had new ideas, but she was going through a creative block. So it sounds like whatever this burden is had something to do with her work. It sounded like maybe she was working on like another album or something. And I know she had started an album or something and it was unfinished. We have the World coming up next in that row. Again, we have, this is completion and accomplishment. So I feel that, yes, the burden is that she didn't get to complete something. And I feel that maybe might have been her album or possibly another book, some kind of project she was working on. Her burden was that she didn't get to accomplish it. And we have the Eight of Swords reversed. We have this card again. She's talking about, you know, her inner critic self here. But she was trying to get rid of any negative thoughts she had about this project. So whatever this project was, she was self-criticizing this project, and which is why it was never completed. She just had some kind of self-doubt about it. And then we have the Chariot. She was determined to finish whatever it was. She was just stalled she was at a stalemate with whatever this project was that she was working on. And finally, for this column, we have the Seven of Swords. And it's reversed. So this is keeping secrets. So it was, whatever this project was, it was a big secret project that she was working on. And she was regretting not having completed it before her passing. So, again, it could be an album, it could be a book, it could be something totally not related to her work. It could be some kind of special project that she was working on, or something she was trying to accomplish or finish. And now finally moving on to this last column here, we had the Six of Wands and the Judgment cards reversed here. Remember, she was talking about, with the Six of Wands, she was talking about she felt she was falling from grace. There was a private achievement, so I feel that ties into the second column here. And again, she was criticizing herself over whatever this project was. So now we have the King of Swords on top of that. There was some truth or some authority or intellectual power regarding whatever this project was. So it's sounding like, remember in my last video that I was trying to determine whether or not she might have been trying to expose Pizzagate. I am actually starting to wonder if she is telling us she was indeed trying to expose Pizzagate with this truth card having come up. And all this stuff talking about an unfinished project. So now I'm starting to believe this may actually be her talking, saying, yes, I was going to help expose Pizzagate. So the next card, I want to see what that is. That's the King of Cups. She's saying it was diplomatic and compassionate and emotionally balanced, whatever she was working on. So if it's diplomatic, there's a chance that, again, this definitely could be Pizzagate. I'm starting to believe this is Pizzagate. The Two of Cups. This is the partnership and love and the mutual attraction card. So it sounds like she was partnering up with somebody with this project, or whatever this big task was. If it was indeed Pizzagate, she wasn't working alone on this, exposing this. There are other people involved. However, they were feeling stuck during this. So it sounds like they hit a roadblock in their in their way of trying to expose whatever they were doing. And that's what I'm getting off of that. And then we have the Eight of Cups reversed. They were going to try one more time. They were indecisive, but they wanted to try one more time with whatever this was before walking away. This also is aimless drifting, and there has been speculation that when she was trying to get Josie back in the boat drifted because it was not anchored. So this could also be telling her, yeah, the boat drifted, which that's why she could not get back on. And it may have gone farther than Josie realized, because he's only 4 years old. So a 4-year-old's perspective is a lot different than an adult's. Their perception can be different. So me seeing this close up like this can be a lot different to a 4-year-old. And the same with walking in a room. When I was, much smaller and shorter, bedrooms and living rooms seemed so much bigger to me than they do now. So again, it could have seemed like she was farther away than he thought, maybe. And that could also be why it took them so long to find her. So, but again, I feel like, you know, this is saying that whatever they were working on, they were going to try one more time. And then we have the Five of Cups reversed. Again, going back, there was a setback with this. She's trying to forgive herself for this. She's moving on if they could not finish this. I'm going to put one more across each row here. But going from right to left this time. The King of Pentacles. There's some kind of security or leadership. So it sounds like she took leadership of whatever this project was. And then we have the Ten of Cups reversed. There was a disconnection. There were some misaligned values. So it sounds like they may not have had all the evidence together to expose whatever this was for that. And then finally, we have that Ace of Cups reversed again. Again, these are repressed emotions. So she still has repressed emotions about the whole situation. And I'm actually gonna go one more just because I can. So going back to the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups went on it. She had those repressed emotions, but emotionally she was stable. You know, she was compassionate, she was caring. So she was definitely trying to get whatever this was resolved. And then the Four Cups. They were reevaluating the situation before taking the next step. That's why there's been a delay. They were reevaluating. And then finally we have the Seven of Pentacles. They were looking at this in a long-term view, that it was going to take them a while to get this resolved, whatever this was, because there was only sustainable results. It really was not a lot enough to expose it, but they were working on it. Okay, so that's that reading. I do want to, my third and final, I want to see if we can get some answers in regards to Cory. If there's anything she can tell us. And again, I just have to bear with me here while I adjust my camera back to the way I had it before. Of course, it would help if I had the curse go away. It's been a long day. And I'm hoping everyone is well and stays safe right now with everything that's going on. I'm also hoping, you know, again, I want your thoughts on everything that's been going on in the world. Maybe you can, you know, I know you'd be biased and you would, I know who you would want to win the election. Maybe you can give us some insight in whether we're going to have a new president in November or not. Which, God, I hope I do. Everybody better find a way to get out and vote in November, despite what our disgrace of a president is trying to do right now with the postal service and everything. So Naya, or even Cory, if you're here, Cory. Again, as I said in my last video, I have a very strong personal connection to Cory, spiritually. And again, I have been visited by him on numerous occasions. And as I said before, he is the guardian of the world. He has a job to do, and that's to go around and make sure everybody's okay. All the Gleeks of the world, but every single person. But again, I'm curious to know if we get any more insight into his pregnancy too, Naya. So anything you can spill would be so great. So any messages you have for us or for your fans. Oh, we have a jumper. We have 2 jumpers. I'm so happy we've got some jumpers. And they might not necessarily even be from Naya. They could be from Cory. So, I'll shuffle these a couple more times. I'm so excited because that's like my first legit jumper. I know I had the ones in the video yesterday, but it was kind of more or less while I was, you know, they were more or less really on the top of the deck, but they were still jumpers to me. But these were like legit jumpers that came out in the middle of the shuffle, and that makes me very happy because I love when I get those, especially if I goof up, you know, doing that, or they purposely jump. I still count them like that. One more shuffle. Okay, so we're starting off with these 2 that we jumped. So the 2 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles were our jumpers. These were our jumpers. I'm going to go 4 across and 4 below. We're going to do an 8 card reading here. This is something I don't normally do, but again, I have limited space here, so 6 sometimes doesn't give me enough clarity. Right, so bear with me here a moment while I bring up my guide here again. So we have that 2 of Pentacles. So Naya's telling us she had multiple priorities. She's trying to manage her time. And that 6 of Pentacles. Again, this is that charity card. So she was doing a lot of charity stuff. We have that 10 of Cups reversed again. We said there was like some misaligned values or disconnection. This also does mean struggling relationships. And having been divorced, she was sort of on the verge of reconciliation with her ex-husband, Ryan Dorsey, who Josie is with now. They were co-parenting, so they were, you know, making some kind of, you know, amends with their relationship. And I might draw that back to the making amends from the last reading we did. Then we have that 4 of Cups again. And this is like reevaluation and contemplation. So I feel this is her saying we need to reevaluate ourselves with everything that's been going on. Take a moment to contemplate what's going on here. And I feel this is also her directing to the election. If you're not sure, reevaluate yourself and think what's right for our country. And show some apathy. You need to show some apathy, as she's saying. We have that worry card coming up again here with that Five of Pentacles. She's worried for our future. She's worried for this country's future with everything that's going on. It's going back to that, it's telling us we need to reevaluate ourselves. She's worried. We have that Nine of Pentacles. We need to be abundant and self-sufficient with everything that's going on right now. We can't just have people living in the lap of luxury with everything that's going on. We need to be self-sufficient and do what's right. This is what she's telling us. We have that Knight of Wands. Again, she feels the energy and the passion. You know, we need to take action. Be passionate about what's right for our country. So again, she's telling us do the right thing. She's telling us we need a change. And then we have the Four of Wands again. This is transition. This is a conflict with others. So she's talking, I feel that she's telling us we need to transition in the White House. We need a transition in the White House. There's too much conflict. And we're not only conflicting with each other, but we need to get rid of those conflicts with others. So again, she's telling us there needs to be change in the White House. There needs to be change in the world and how we evaluate ourselves. I'm going to set those aside and do 8 more. And these are all looking so promising right now. Again, we have the Justice card. This is the Truth card, but this is law. This is fairness. We need to be fair. We need to get justice for everything that's going on. There, be true. I mean, the truth needs to come out because there is cause and effect. So, this is tying to Black Lives Matter. This is tying to the corruption in the White House. This is talking about there's a lack of accountability, there's dishonesty, there's unfairness. There needs to be fairness. That's her telling us we need to be doing the right thing. Then we have the Tower. There's chaos. There's going to be a sudden change of upheaval. So she's telling us this is it. We need to avert disaster even more than so. We need to make a change. A quick change by causing a transition in the White House. She's telling us to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and get Donald Trump out of the White House. This is what she's telling us. And then we have that Queen of Swords reversed. There are easily influenced people out there that are bitchy and cold-hearted. She said the card that followed, that's the Emperor card with the cold-hearted. She's referring to Donald Trump with the Emperor card because that Emperor card means power and authority, and it's a male. So she's telling us he needs to go. Donald Trump needs to go and needs to be held accountable for his crimes that he's committed. This is what Naya Rivera is telling us from the other side. And then we have the Eight of Cups again. That Eight of Cups. She's disappointed that people are abandoning something. She's disappointed that people are like withdrawing from, I would think, the Black Lives Movement, or trying to get justice. Again, maybe the justice card is also for people like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and all those that have, you know, suffered at the hands of police brutality. So she's just very disappointed with everything that's been going on. That's what I'm drawing off of that. And then we have the Three Cups. There's going to be a celebration. So I feel that, again, you know, she's saying in November that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to win the White House and kick Donald Trump out. And that, again, there's a collaboration. She knows that the two of them work so well together that they're going to do so many great things for this country when they're elected to the White House. And then we have that Eight of Swords reversed again. You need to release the negativity, she's saying. Get rid of those negative thoughts. Be positive. Open yourself to new perspectives. So she's sending a message to those who may be full of hate and bigotry and racism. You need to get rid of these negative thoughts and become a new person and love people for who they are and not think that you're better than another person. So that's what I draw off of that. And then we have that Page of Cups. This is her message. This is her intuitive message. She is telling us there needs to be a change, and it needs to happen, and you guys need to make it happen. Or our country is gonna end up looking like something out of either the Hunger Games or Divergent. You know, this is where our world is going to. So that's with those. I'm hoping with these last 8 cards that she gives us some insight, or Cory can give us some insight into maybe Leah or anything else that's been going on, or any messages they might have for us. You have that Magician card again, as well as that Seven of Cups and the Four of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune came up reversed. Now, when it's reversed like that, that usually means bad luck or resisting change, but it also means breaking cycles. So we need to break the cycle. She's telling us we need to break the cycle and get a fresh start. That's what she's telling me with that. Then we have the Chariot reversed. With this, she's telling us we need some self-discipline. There's some opposition and lack of direction, but we need some self-discipline when it's coming to the matters that are going at hand right there. So if we keep going in the direction that we're going now, we're just going to keep going backwards and be stuck in, like, it'd be like Groundhog's Day. We're just going to be doing the same thing over and over again if we don't change. And we have that Seven of Cups reversed again. Align your personal values. You may be overwhelmed by choices, she's saying, but you have a choice, she's saying. You have an opportunity to make change. And then we have the Six of Swords. Again, she's telling us transition, change. It's your right to vote. It is your civic duty. So I am so surprised that this got as political as it did. But Naya was never one be quiet on this subject either. And so she is definitely telling us, hey, we need to change. We need to fix the boo-boo you guys made 4 years ago. And then we're back to that Magician card. Again, resourcefulness, power, inspired action. Take action. You're inspired to take action. Be powerful. Be resourceful. You have the ability to manifest this new beginning for our country. Release all your limited beliefs and stop exploring dark thoughts. Detach from your negativity, as she's saying. Detach from the old and go with new. And then we have the Four of Swords again. Meditate, contemplate what you're doing. You know, and she's telling everybody to rest and relax from this pandemic as well. You know, don't be going out, you know, stay home. She's telling us to stay home. But contemplate your next step, especially when it comes to everything that's been going on. And then finally, we have the Six of Cups. So she's telling us, revisit the past with everything that's been going on. Go revisit the past and see what it was doing when there was peace, when stuff was not the way it was as it is now. There was a time of peace. So she's definitely concerned that if we don't make a change, things are not going to get better. So that's going to be it for that. I do want to do one more quick, I know I keep saying this, but I just want to do a quick 3-card reading, see if I can get a hold of Cory real quick. And if I can, I'm going to divide it off of this video and put it in a separate video. So, and I'll edit this out if that's the case. So if I don't, I want to say thank you for watching. And if you have any requests of anyone you'd like me to try to contact, or if you would like a personal tarot reading yourself, you can visit my Twitter. It's at Ms. Holly Christine, and Christine's with a K. I will put it's just no different than my screen name on YouTube. It's all one word though, so it's Ms. Holly Christine. And then my Instagram is hollychristine2018. You can also go on there and message me for a reading. And I will be happy to do a personal reading for you over direct message. So I'm going to do a quick 3-card here. Heck, I'll just make it 6. So bear with me here. I'm just going to try to see if, because again I got that charity card. And I'm just looking to myself here. I'm still drawing somewhat on Naya here, but I am picking up Cory. This Five of Cups, there's regret and disappointment. And that's Strength Reverse card. Low energy, self-doubt. This could also be, I feel so Naya, she just didn't have the energy to get back on that boat. That Queen of Wands. You know, courage, confidence, independence, determination. So again, like I feel like I'm still drawing on Naya's energy here. And with the again, contemplation and reevaluation here, the meditation. So that's I'm still drawing on that, and there's again frustration and delays. And charity, that charity card again. So that concludes this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, if you have any requests or want to have a personal tarot reading done, just message me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll have the links below for you. And I'll be happy to give you some more information on pricing. So, thanks. Have a safe weekend. And remember to wear a mask, please, wherever you go, for our sakes. Especially those of us that are high risk, like myself with my PCOS and my MS. I have to wear a mask regardless as an essential worker. But I still wear a mask going out because I choose to, because I know I need to wear one. So, please help protect each other and respect each other, and please have a mask on, and thanks. Have a great weekend, guys.